And this is your Board of Supervisors, Tuesday, August 13th, 2024 at 2 p.m. It's slightly after. It is now, looks like 2:40. And Board of Supervisors Hearing Room, 1415 Melody Lane, Bisbee, Arizona. I am going to skip roll call because we have heard from all our supervisors, and I am going to skip the introductions because everybody here who was at the last meeting is still at this meeting. Therefore, moving on to items for discussion, we have possible direction regarding the flood control district update, again with Ms. Jackie Watkins, if you would care to address us.
The clicker stopped.
Oh.
It's working. Thank you. So this update on the flood control projects. We still working on Leslie Canyon Ponds, just south, north of Douglas. So design contract is $219,000. We hope to have this design completed next year. This is to take the Leslie Canyon Pond out of a jurisdictional dam from ADWR's designation by lowering the outlet structure. And part of that process, the county in-house, we are designing the Vista del Cerro and Santa Paula roads to accommodate the new inlet and outlet structures. Estimated cost of construction at this time is $3.5 million, and that project is ongoing. In Bay Acres, this is a design project that is 90% completed to put a drainage channel on the east side of Bay Acres and take it down to Palm Grove Wash. The right-of-way for that project would probably cost around $1 million. In construction, we anticipate for $10 million. And this project design will be done this calendar year. And then we would have to go out for grants and funds to buy the right-of-way and construct it. In Coyote Wash, this is by Sierra Vista. This isn't part of our Bella Vista Ranch property that we have. And the design is $330,000. We're 90%. We will have design compliance completed by November with advertising the project just so we can start construction hopefully in January. And the estimated construction cost is $6.5 million. We have $1.5 million grant, a REPI grant from the Fort Huachuca. Flood Control District has $500,000. And then we did get a WIFA, Water Infrastructure Finance Authority grant for $3 million this year. And we will keep applying for grants, but we do have the funds if we don't get grants in the Flood Control District budget to do this. Yes.
Ms. Watkins, can you describe where this diagram is compared to a major street intersection?
That would be west of Motion Road between Charleston Road and Highway 90.
Thank you.
So this is, we're diverting the water from Coyote Wash over to an old gravel pit and then slowly let that water back out so that it recharges and enhances the aquifer and controls flooding that happens on Molson Road. This is the same wash that we had a fatality a few years ago. And so this would help prevent the flooding and some of even the debris that we had across Molson Road at that location.
This is one of the places where they post pictures and say we can't get home.
Well,
today.
there's not a lot of traffic on this, but the school bus, because there's, Tombstone school bus that comes down and gets people. So yeah, when we had that one flood on the 15th, Molson was closed. This part of Molson was closed.
And where is it compared to Charleston's?
It's about a mile south of Charleston.
Okay.
Half a mile. And then our Upper San Pedro projects, we're still in design with for Riverstone. And so our Riverstone property is 1,800 acres. We have a REPI grant for $900,000. The city of Sierra Vista is doing this project. They're doing the design and permitting. And then we will do the wet-dry mapping of Clark Canyon Wash because ADQ is designating that as a water of concern. if we could get it, we'll do wet dry mappings to say that it's not the water's not flowing down Clark Canyon in the rain. So we are in the final investigations for site 2, site investigations, and then we will apply for grants for design and construction and the location of where the recharge basin. And this is to take the effluent from the Sierra Vista treatment plant down to this. Some of the effluent that they have going through their recharge basins now is daylighting further out, and so we will take some of that effluent and go down here to recharge the aquifer. Our Horseshoe Draw project, the spillway that was damaged from 2022 to get constructed to repair the damage. We did repair the inlet, but the outlet we have not repaired, and that's designed in-house. The Bisbee Effluent Project, the DCR, the Design Concept Report, is completed with 30% design. We are working on the Bisbee Effluent Agreement and a location. We've spotted a location for the property to discharge the effluent to, and it's treated effluent. It's a Class A treated effluent, so it's not dirty sewer water. It is treated effluent. But when you recharge it into a natural basin, it's that helps increase the cleaning of the effluent going through the natural soil. And this will be on the west side of the San Pedro River, close to the border. Watershed studies, we will have one for Pomeroy Road. This would be a high-level study to find out when it rains a lot over there, there's ponding along Pomeroy Road, which inhibits the people traveling further north or south. And so we want to try to find out if there's something we can do to control the water, capture the water, put it in some culverts at the low point. And so we will do a watershed study on Pomeroy to do that. And then the Wilcox Basin, we applied in 2022 for the BRIC grant. We're still in the running. We were still answering emails from them 2 weeks ago. They have not awarded any of those grants. The most effort we've ever done for a $250,000 grant. But so if we get that, then we will do a high-level study for the Wilcox Basin where we could do recharge, flood control for that basin. And then the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, we have the planning assistance to states, and they will do a study on the Record Canyon watershed to see what we could do to help prevent some of the flooding that happens in the Wilcox or the Elfrida area. And then the NR department, we participated in the Wilcox STEM Day in June. So a survey, we had a drone, we took a drone up there and showed them the drone and the mobile scanner that we have. And then field technical services, we took our utility equipment where we use for pothole, the Doctran equipment to show how we pothole for utilities and making street signs. And so they all be able to make a name of their street sign, not the street name, but their name on a sign. And they were creative in doing that. And then we have, this picture shows the rolling river that we use to show, like if you build a house too close to a drainage channel, and you can increase the water flow through there and how it erodes back the channel and contouring land. So the kids had fun, because we had little houses and stuff and animals, and they were burying the animals in the sand. They had fun doing this. And then we had showed them the flood maps, because they were from the Wilcox schools. Most of Wilcox is in a flood zone. So they were surprised to see how much of the area was in a flood zone. And then the function of wells. And then we had Alberto, one of our other engineers, he took little Hot Wheel cars, and we did horizontal curves, and we had a Hot Wheel car and a little van and different, so that you could show on the super elevation with the cars going around, so to explain the physics, why they really need to pay attention to the road signs if they say, it's a curve or a turn, what the difference of those signs, and then our traffic count. So they liked it, and we will probably continue to participate. That was a 2 weeks program that they had, and they had people from Fort Huachuca and SSVUC and Arizona GNT, for the students. Then our department actions. So we're still involved with the Sulphur Springs Water Alliance, which is developed out of the scenario planning workshop that we had in September. So this is for the Wilcox and Douglas Basin. And still working on the MOU that would then be brought to the board, including the city of Douglas and Wilcox and businesses and residents. In Fort Huachuca, the Centennial Landscape, there's a documentary, and I'll send you a link to that. But that was about 45 minutes, and it talks about Fort Huachuca DOD operations, what they do there. It also has some of our CCRN projects, the Cochise County projects, our Palominas Recharge. Mark Knable he's featured in that film. It's a very good film, very well done. They had the filming of it 2 weeks ago. They showed it in the Cochise Conservation Recharge Network. Our 2023 annual report is out. I think we had sent that to you. And we're also wanting to increase our permit fees for flood control district, because the last time those were done were well, some of them were from 1987. Some of the fees were increased in 2013.
Why do you get a flood control district permit? What is, like, if you're going to build a house or?
All
What does that look
residents
like?
that have a home, they need to make sure we have 12 inches positive drainage away from the homes. So they'll need a floodplain permit for that, especially if they're in the floodplain. Then you tell them what elevation their finished floor has to be.
Okay.
So if you have 2 feet of water flowing across there for flooding, your house has to be a foot above that, so that, we're here to, you're not preventing flooding, but we're controlling development in a floodplain so that the homes and structures that are built are not going to get flooded in the future.
So that's part of the general permitting process. One of the pieces of it is the floodplain permit.
And then the erosion hazard setback, so that people don't build so close to a wash that's eroding, so that their house doesn't fall back in the creek like what happened in, Tucson, and I think it was the 80s.
Happens in California all the time.
So it's to help regulate development with flood hazards.
All right. Just wondering where that came in, and it's one of the pieces of your initial packet that you would
Right.
get if you were getting,
Right. And that's part of the
Permit.
National Flood Insurance Program.
okay.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Madam English, did you have further comment?
I really don't at this time. I think I understand what they're doing. There's a lot going on. I'm always concerned about the tremendous amount of money that we spend on engineering. That, from my perspective, many times should be spent toward doing and rather than. But I understand the concept because of liability. So that's my comment.
Okay. Hearing no further comment or questions, this is the end of the Flood Control District Update meeting. Our next meeting is today at 3 p.m. in the Board of Supervisors hearing room for a work session regarding the process for filling the Justice of the Peace 3 Benson vacancy. Meeting adjourned.